everyone. My name is Vanessa. I work with guest relations here at One Senior Place. And today I am with David Miller, the founder of the Miller Group of Keller Williams Realty. How are you doing, David?
Doing well, doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good. Thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
So, to start off, can you tell me a little bit about what you think prevents seniors from downsizing?
Yeah, I think the biggest problem, a lot of times seniors know they need to do something, but they are just overwhelmed, especially if they lived in the house for about 30 years. They got a bunch of stuff. And so they don't know, they have a lot of stuff. They don't have a plan. They don't know where to start. They don't know who to call. They don't know who to trust. And so rather than doing anything, they decide to do nothing. And that's when, bad things can happen. So I think that's probably the number one thing is that they just feel they're overwhelmed and they just don't know where to start because there's just so much to do when you make the move.
Okay. And so, how do you think you come in to help make that process easier for them and help them navigate those feelings of being overwhelmed?
Absolutely. Well, we have a plan. We have a five-step baby boomer transition program that we put together about 10 years ago. And so it provides a detailed plan on what needs to be done. But I think the biggest thing is that we have like a concierge type of service of trusted vendors that we've acquired over the past 20 years that we can plug in as necessary in any one of those steps. So it doesn't make it as overwhelming as it was before. So they actually know what they need to do. We can actually project manage it for them. We even work with a lot of adult children that are out of town, and we manage all the vendors for them to get everything done so they don't have to keep on flying back and forth and whatnot. So we can do whatever they need us to do. We can do all of it. We can do some of it, or we can just do the most important part, which is helping them get their property sold.
Nice. And can you expand a little bit on the type of vendors that you work with and how they
Yeah,
can help seniors?
yeah, absolutely. So one of the steps is determining what you're going to take with you. So typically, when they're downsizing, they're in a house this big and they're going into something this small. So most of the stuff they're not going to take with them. So that's the part that's very overwhelming is determining what to take with them. So we have move managers that can come in to help them through that process, help them pack that up. If they know where they're going, they can get measurements of that new house to see if that big entertainment center is going to fit in there or not.
Okay.
And then the third step is really the stuff you're not going to take with you. What are you going to do with it? And that's really the overwhelming part as well. And so we have estate sales planners that can come in and do an estate sale, or if they want to give it away to local charities or local churches. We usually have three vendors of those categories that we can bring in and make sure that we're working with one that they feel the most comfortable with.
Nice, nice. And so because you're working with like so many vendors and getting this process started, how do you navigate that in a way that doesn't overwhelm the seniors?
That's a great question because we all can be overwhelmed very easily,
Hmm.
especially as seniors, because we want to simplify everything. So that's where we provide that one single point of contact. So with that one single point of contact, we act as the project manager on everything, and all that
Okay.
we're doing is keep them up to date on what's going on, and that way they always know what's going on. Number one, number two, they always know what's next, and depending on what they need from us, we can provide those vetted vendors that we've acquired over the years that we know are going to do a good job, show up on time, charge a fair wage. And that's really what everybody's looking for nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. And so another question. So I know that because this process can be overwhelming for them and you have these vendors that you trust in helping them make these decisions. How do you make sure that your clients know that you are trustworthy and someone that they can rely on?
That's a great question because as seniors, we know everybody wants to take advantage of us,
Yeah.
right? And so we've been doing this for 20 years. Before we even meet with somebody, we'll send them a pack of information on us. And, I can tell them anything, but it means so much more if one of our past clients shares that with them. So we have a website they can go to, and we have over 100 video testimonials of past clients that were just compelled right at the closing table to really share what their real life experience was working with us. And that means a lot more. And then from a vendor perspective, vendors change. Let's be honest. They change. They hire different people. So at the closing table, we always find out which vendors did you use, and we have them rate them between a 1 and a 10. And if it's
Nice.
anything less than a 10, then we say, well, why wasn't it a 10? You gave them an 8, and they share that with us. So we're constantly making sure the vendors that we're referring are going to be as trustworthy as we are, because they're going to be a direct representation of who we are because we're the ones who referred them to them.
Nice. That's an awesome thing to do.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
And so I know that you bring a lots of different workshops here to One Senior Place.
Mhm.
Can you tell me a little bit more about like the different types of workshops that you bring and how they're beneficial to seniors?
Absolutely. So, one of the main two that we usually do is one called Planning for the Future and Beyond. I think that's the best one for people that are planners and they aren't really sure what they should be doing. Like, people are either going to be proactive or reactive. So, what we do is we talk about that and we really talk about the questions that we have as we get older, which is, when do I know when it's time to downsize? What are my options? How do I pay for it? How much does it cost? So we go through all those things. There's nothing salesy about it. And it just really has people really think about it, maybe in a way that they haven't thought about before. And it really helps them build a plan for the future. The other ones that we do quite a bit is our ones on if we have seniors that have investment properties. So we do a 1031 exchange one once a quarter. So we teach people on how to do estate planning around that with your properties, because one thing about real estate is you can't subdivide it. It's just there. So if you
Yeah.
have two kids and you have one property, well, what are you going to do with that? Which kid is your favorite, right? So we walk through that process, and we have some other ones throughout the year as well that we provide. But we just want to come from a informational perspective, educate people. The more educated they are, the better decisions they can make. And one of their biggest investments was their house.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they do these seminars here at One Senior Place 1 to 2 times a month. So check out our calendar as well to see when the next one will be coming up. They're very insightful.
Thank you.
And so lastly, can you
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about like the Miller Group
Yeah.
in general and your experience as a realtor and working with seniors?
Yeah. So my wife and I have been in the business for over 20 years full time. We are more of a family type of team. Our oldest daughter, Haley, used to be a teacher for 5 years, so she's been with us for about 4 years right now.
Nice.
And we have a full-time transaction manager, a marketing person, and a couple of runners. So during the last 20 years, we helped over almost 1,200 families either buy, sell, or invest in real estate. So it's very important when you do sell your house that you just don't go with a realtor that says, I can sell your house, because as a senior, you need so many more services before that. And that's where we really excel, on helping people prep their house to sell, get it on the market, and get it sold for top dollar. And that's what it's all about.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
So thank you everyone for watching today. I'm going to be linking down below the Miller Group's information, their website, where you can access more information on the events that they'll be bringing here to One Senior Place. So thank you.
Yep, absolutely.